Hello everyone, this is Anup and welcome back to our short Lightroom video tutorial. I am back after a pretty long gap, and today I'm going to talk to you about a very basic option in Lightroom that we have in develop module. It's a very basic option and basic but yet very powerful. You can use this to completely change the way your photo look. So the first option we have is white balance. White balance is basically to correct the color of your image so that it looks closer, so the color tone looks closer to the reality. First, what I'll do is I will set the value that I have already set on my basic option to default. I will reset it. Now this is what my image look like. What I'll do is I will crop it first to make it look a little bit nicer, so it's more, so I feel more happy to edit the photos. So yeah, this is how our photo would be. The first step would be choosing a white balance. So for choosing a white balance, if you are shooting in RAW, you will get this option. These are the same option that you get in your camera. So yeah, for shooting in RAW, you will get to play between this option later in the post-production part as well. So you can use this option to see if there is any one color that you like, and if not, you can always use the picker and try getting a white part to see if the color matches or not. What you can do is, if you move the this picker around the image, you should see the color difference here in this small window. So yeah, that is one way you can decide which part of the image to click, but basically you should be looking for the yes, white region. This is not what I want. Maybe, yeah, something like this. And if this is still not something that you want, you can always play with this temp and tint slider. Temp is used as it's used to control yellow and blue, and tint green and magenta. And if you want to jump with the very small values, you can always click here and use the keyboard arrow key to move with the very small values. Now the third option we have is exposure. Exposure is basically making your image brighter or darker. It controls the amount of light. Contrast, if you increase contrast, the white pixel of your image gets more bright and the dark pixel get more darker. It increases the brightness and darkness of a bright and dark pixel respectively, plus simultaneously in one time. So that's what contrast is. It increase both the value of both bright and dark pixel. The next option we have is highlight. The highlight is used to cover the detail from the highlight. You see some of the details from this part of the highlight is recovered, or it is also used to blow the highlights away. And the next option we have is shadow. Shadow is basically getting the detail out from the shadow part. For example, you do see you get more detail here in the shadow, right? If I take it to 0, now you see more shadow here. I can get the detail from the shadow. But one thing to take a very good care is, when you decrease the shadow, you will get to see a lot of noise. So make sure that you don't always directly get rid of shadows with this shadow slider, because there is a high chances that you may get a lot of noise in your image. The next option we have is white. White is basically used to increase the intensity of white pixel in your image. Black is used to make the intensity of black pixel more darker or more brighter. The next option we have is clarity. It increases the detail, but you really want to be careful while using this slider. You don't want your image to look like this, right? So make sure that you only experiment with the small values of it. And the last two options we have is vibrance and saturation. Vibrance and saturation are both the sliders that are responsible for increasing the colors. But if I have to increase the color in my image, and if it's a portrait, I will basically start with vibrance. The reason is, when you increase the value of saturation, what it does is it increases the color of every image with that amount. For example, if I increase it by 40, it increases every color values, for example values of every color by 40. but Vibrance works slightly different. It's a little bit more smart than saturation. What it does is it gives priority to less muted color. The color they were less muted would get more priority color tone of skin. For example, orange, red and yellow gets less priority. So if you're using a portrait, if you're using a photo of a person, to increase the color, start with Vibrance, because the color tone of a skin would look more natural even if you increase the value of Vibrance. So these are the options that you get, that you choose to play with basic slider. I know it's not looking nice, so what I'll do is I will reset it, I'll crop it just to make it look more nice, and I will see what are the values that I will use. Yes, I will slightly make it more brighter, increase the value of Vibrance to give it more color, slightly get the detail from some shadow part, get some detail from the highlight part, some white, and yes, slightly increase the contrast. Now if I do before and after, you can see the difference between how the photo was and how the photo is right now. I hope it has helped you in one way or the other. Do subscribe us, we are coming up with many more tutorials. Till then, you guys take care, bye bye.